welcome to another edition of The Eternal Journey. I'm That Resolves, and this is Xenan LifeForce. I was actually a huge fan of this deck on the release of Omens of the Past, as I used it to master fairly easily in that month, which was perhaps in part due to the prevalence of Skycrag beatdown on the ladder. BasoonBuffon was actually playing this at the ETS this weekend, and as I was in the mood to play some Xenan anyway, I thought I'd give their team's list a go. So our new inclusion from the patch is actually Talir's Intervention, and this really does it all. It's a fast spell that can either trigger your LifeForce abilities, or in a much smaller instance of games can be used to return the Oasis Seeker back to your hand. But the main pull to the card is that now you've got some instant speed silence, and this has a really powerful effect as it helps protect you from any threats with evasion or endurance, and it can really mess around with your opponents who are trying to use weapons on the units. And this deck in general is pretty typical of a LifeForce deck, with a huge pile of enablers, and there's an assortment of payoffs that are all well worth the price of admission. So in terms of enablers, we have the Oasis Seeker, which allows us to trigger our Katra basically for free and before combat damage, which is very important, and alongside the Vara's Favour, which can be a straight up removal spell most of the times on the ladder, with the Dreamsnatcher as well, which is quite an interesting inclusion. I'd like to see how this fights in a lot of decks in terms of being included over and under the Argentport Instigators now that we've both got the double shadow influence requirements. We've also got the Devoted Theurge, who, aside from just a chunky body, it can be used to repeatedly trigger your Katra and Beckoning Looms in a pinch, as well as just having the really potent gain 4 life when you put into play for the first time. But for the payoffs, we've got the Snowball Queen Katra, and this can really get out of control if your opponent doesn't have a harsh rule. We've got some Beckoning Lumens as well, and these have recently been buffed / nerfed to be a 4 cost, so now they are vulnerable to banishes, but you get to play them a lot earlier on in the game. And this just really helps you to just keep the cards flowing alongside the Interrogator, and just really be able to bury your opponent in both cards and the size of your units. So in the middle of these, however, we do have the Colony Matron, which is sort of a hybrid between an enabler and a payoff, as it's both a payoff for the Xenan Obelisk and the Katra, but it's also an enabler for the Katra and the Beckoning Lumen. And of course, any deck that is able to play the Holy Trinity of Ayan the Abductor, Banish, and Vara's Choice, it's got to have a pretty decent power level when it comes to the ladder. Anyway, on to the games. Here's hoping there's no harsh rules. Okay, so not super happy with this hand, just 1 power, so we'll redraw. And this is much better. Let's see first. So we'll get to start off with an Oasis Seeker, which means that we do get to, no matter what on turn 4, we should be able to activate either the Katra or the Beckoning Lumen pretty easily. So next turn is very likely we're going to play the Vara's Favour just so that we can get the Katra out there. Though Katra is much better when you've actually already developed a board. So perhaps we can just hold fire and start off with the Beckoning Lumen. Talir's Intervention is a new change with this patch. I'm pretty interested in seeing how this is going to work. Okay, so let's have this Interrogator in place soon. But if we play the Time Sigil now for the Vara's Favour, which probably doesn't have very many targets against what we're up against, should be able to play the Beckoning Lumen and trigger it with the Amber Waystone, just because we've already got the free time influence. So this, when it ends play, if there's 4 time influence, you gain 2 life. But right now, yeah, I think we'll just get the Theurge in there because it's a chunky threat. If our opponent was to use an Annihilate on it, something like that, that's fine by us. perhaps we're going to try and set up a turn where we can play the Interrogator and the Katra on the same turn. So I'll just chuck in there for 4. Need to be a lot less concerned about any sort of Witch Storm nonsense now, because with the changes to the Withering Witch, it's a lot harder to sort of pull that stuff off. This could be a double Lightning Storm, so this can return an Explorer Sentinel. This is a Mystic and a Radiant, so we're out of luck. Yeah, can't gain life to a unit. That'd be nice. Okay, guess we'll just start turn. Chuck in here for some damage. I think right now we'll actually want to play the Interrogator out, because then next turn we'll be able to play the Katra, play the Waystone, and start digging into our deck for some cards. Okay, well, this is fine. Play Katra, play Waystone, get everyone nice and big. And I think, as even if we do gain the life here, as Katra's a devoted, we're not able to use this. She's a cultist, sorry, so we can't actually save her with the Tal's intervention. Maybe it's worth just using it as like a gain 4, give your team +1/+1. But I might want to do this next turn. Though if we do draw an undepleted power next turn, we'll be able to just double Theurge. I'm just thinking that if we do that, we're able to attack with this. We can go to attack, see if we get a block. And our opponent's allowing it, okay. Yeah, that's fine by me. I was expecting no blocks there though. Dreamsnatcher, now same sort of cost as the Instigator. And let's just gain 4. Just make our Interrogator a little bit more chunky. As we've got plenty of ways to gain life in hand. Okay, well, medium punished. He's got the Katra, but we can just build up a board first. So chunking for 6. Play a Theurge and a Dreamsnatcher. And next time we can Katra plus Vara's Favour. Then the attack should be pretty rough for our opponent to come back from. Okay, well, a devoted Katra. I suppose we actually need to do this damage somewhere so we get the trigger now. The opponent does have quite the attack in there, but I'm just going to keep trying to get in there for 5. The opponent wants to trade off here, that's fine. We can't trade here and then they get to rebuy it, but that means they're not like attacking us, so that's more than fine by me. We have a lot of threats that need to be dealt with here. This needs 10 to be able to impact the opponent's library. So if our opponent doesn't have an Aegis for a start, our opponent doesn't have an Aegis and we pay 10, this will put top 15 cards of their library into their void. Isn't super excellent. Let's get the buff first. But any non-powers gives us a bunch of attack and turns it into sort of like a army in a tin. That should do it. The Dreamstalker is an interesting card. Okay, so we've got a lot of enables in terms of gaining life, but no real payoffs. I also want to draw. I think we'll just redraw this. This is much more exciting. We've got sort of an enabler and a payoff of sorts. We'll get some sort of Stone Scar deck. Could be the new sort of... Oh, okay. So it could just be Armory or 3-color Gunslingers, which looks like where it is. Sadly, ambushing this with an Iron isn't excellent technology, so we'll just get rid of this out of the way now. Then if we find another Shadow Source, we'll be able to deploy the Iron. Okay, well, sadly we didn't, but next turn at least we get to gain 6 life with the Theurge and the Waystone. So when Crackshot Future attacks, you get +1/+1 this turn for each of your units wielding a weapon. Okay, so currently that's not a huge unit, but I can see how this could get out of hand, especially if our opponent's got a Jack. Gonna get a chunk of life, and I'm just gonna block whatever with this. Okay, well, I'm guessing this is the hard-up pistol. Yep. And this is going to be a chunk of damage. Yep, so we've got 17 damage at the face here. We could... Okay, so we can just Vara's choice this. And opponent could have a protect if they do, we're in trouble. Okay, guess not. So let's play the Seeker and gain a little bit of life. I would prefer to point Vara's choice at our opponent's face, but as otherwise just being the Abyss, we just had to sort of remove that unit, otherwise we'd just be sort of chump blocking it every turn and not getting any traction, especially when we're really struggling with the additional Shadow Sorcerer. This is an additional copy, oh dear. But we know they've got a dead copy of Milo in hand. Okay, this is fine. What's attacking it? It's gonna chuck the Abductor in. Just get rid of this 2/2 because we know what the other card in our opponent's hand is. So the Ayan's safe. There we go. There's the Naked Azario, and Ayan is a cultist as well. So I'm struggling to see where the technology is with this. Apart from silencing an enemy unit is pretty good beats. We're attacking here, definitely gain our life. Could very well be worth it if our opponent just sort of chunks in there with the 2/3. We are able to silence it and just block for free. That's what we'll do. So silence this. That happened instantly, so we know there's no fast effects there. I'm just able to gobble it up. So now I'm starting to see why that card's in the deck. The Desert Marshal effect is very potent, especially when this is faster than Desert Marshal, it being a fast spell. And that was enough for the opponent. Okay, and we don't have the correct influence, so this is a draw. Okay, this is interesting. Got a little bit of interaction with the Vara's choice. And depending on what this looks like, we could use this just to sort of a slow speed teleport. Or we could just be digging into our opponent's hand. And I think that's what it's going to do. It's going to have a look at what's going on. There's a Champion of Glory that's whatever. But this Unseen Commando is probably more of a problem, so we'll get rid of that. As that's going to be able to buff pretty much the whole team. And it works pretty well for kind of Outlaw. So just play the banner down. Next turn it's going to be Waystone into Lumen. Opponent. Just going to Waystone into Lumen. And pass turn, draw a card. Oh, we've got another Katra for our sins. Okay, so the Runeham's going to take out the Becky, which isn't great for us. And the Rune Hammer being in play means we don't really get to block with this very effectively this turn, so we're sort of priced into taking some damage here. Whereas I'd really like this 1/5 just to be able to soak up some damage. Oh crikey. Well, that's something. So we're not in great shape here, I'll be honest. Let's get rid of this 4 because that's not going to help. I can play the Becky, draw a card. We're probably priced into doing a pretty heavy block here. The Champion of Glory is a problem for a lot of decks to deal with because it's not a monocolor creature. Okay. And we're not quite dead here. The block with the 1/1. We stay up like effectively 2. 1/5, that's just a chump block, we take 4. Having this in play means that we can perhaps get some sort of traction with Katra. I think that's what we'll do. So plus everything up here. Isn't excellent, I'll be honest. We're not in a great shape. Okay, so Soulfire Drake will do it. I was hoping to sort of get a little bit fancy, so I was going to annihilate this, silence this. And I think I could try it anyway. But I don't sense a very profitable future here, especially as all of our opponent's units are going to have charge and flying. So we block here. Take the 2, and yeah, that'll do it. So we just play this. Maybe crawl back in. I'm going to try my best, but we are pretty close to a concession. The could perhaps be a a reason to have played this post Katra. Right now, I'm just gonna price favor over here, make everything a lot bigger. Gain 4 off this. I think it's sort of safe to attack here. Just because it's going to gain us enough life that it's going to be better to have gained it than to have blocked it. Our opponent's had enough. That was close. Okay, so we've got Crest of Wisdom in our lots of shadow requirement hand. So this is a redraw. Roll a draw playing against Bruised by God, so it's going to be a rough match. We get to see the Dreamsnatcher in action, possibly. This could be a sort of on an equal playing field as the Instigator now. Yep. Let's play this out. This means we can perhaps get this out of play and see what it can really do. We've got quite a lot of enablers and one little payoff here. Sadly, it's not each time you gain life, and it's just if you did. So the Dreamsnatcher could potentially be better than Instigator in some decks. Like maybe a more mid-range Argent Port deck. As just having a really early lifesteal threat's pretty good against a bunch of matches. Let's play it out, see what we can do. We're playing the 2-3 over the 3-2. Sort of give it a spin drive, see what it can do. Okay, so either way we're getting annihilated. Right now, let's play the Oasis Seeker. If we do get to untap and attack again, like they let us then. Yeah, very impressive. So opponent's discarded 2 cards technically, so our Dreamsnatcher should be getting bigger there, but... Okay. So now we're able to start drawing cards with the Becky, because we've got a pretty easy to trigger life gain here. And sadly, when Becky got buffed to only cost 4, she now does die to Banish, which is some rough beats. But happy just to get in there. We're stuck on power, so just going to play the Colony Matron for now. There's an excellent pressure, but it allows us next turn just to deploy both threats rather than just wasting power. And it warranted the Death Strike. We'll have to do it on their turn just so that we don't go absolutely ham. Just don't really have any way of protecting it, but we do get the 1/1 Vampire Bat, which is quite good in our deck, as we've got ways to sort of really make the most of just having life gain effects. That's the sort of whole point of the deck. Gonna chunk up some damage. If everyone's got an Iron, then like whatever. It trades with whatever it wants. It's just a removal spell that sort of fog. Okay, points go on the 4/3. We've got the Theurge, who we do have quite a lot of power, and this is a nice little power sink. It's a pay 6, make it a little bit bigger. And this is 11, so does our opponent have a removal spell? Nope. Okay, I'm not sure about this Crest of Wisdom, but I'm sure it'll come up when we actually need it. We've got to redraw this. We've got a Katra and no Shadow Influence. This is slightly better, but I'm not overall impressed. I'll be playing the Shadow Sigil anyway, because if we spike another one, we'll be able to play the Dreamsnatcher. We didn't. But we've got another turn here. Super happy about finding another power, but it does allow us to in there with Colony Matron there. Okay, and as always, it is 100% better to be lucky than good. I'm going to get out of hand with this Dreamsnatcher. I'm not sure what deck this is supposed to be going in, like some sort of weirdo mill discard deck. I guess it's reasonable against Tavrod. Right now we're just going to start building up our time influence, so we'll be able to use these as actual LifeForce triggers. What the plan's going to be, just make a Theurge and then make a Matron. Maybe it's a different plan, because we've got a lot of power here, so maybe we do just want to keep the Theurge as like a free trigger, or something we can be using as a power sink. I'll waste a little bit of power here. I'll just get the Interrogator out there. I'll say I'm a big fan of our opponent's avatar here. Yeti Furflinger recently got buffed to be a 3/4. Sadly it's triple primal, so it's pretty rough to play on time. Okay, well, looking out for damage. Play this so that next turn we've actually got a pretty decent board to be buffing with the Katra. As well as the 1/1 bat as well. And then the 1/1 bat will just be able to keep recurring the LifeForce trigger for us. I was considering playing the Theurge, but this will, if our opponent doesn't deal with it, give us 2 bodies. So the Death Strike in here, which is fine. They just didn't want us to get in there with our little bat. But now I get to chunk in for 5. I'm just going to draw a card at the end of our turn, because now the Interrogator's got the additional power. We get our own little Phyrexian Arena, end of our turn. We dealt a damage and draw a card, which losing life isn't terrible. Okay, so what's this? If they're playing a second Lightning Storm here, I'm going to attempt to blow this out with my Talir's Intervention. Yep, very good. Everyone's getting a cheeky little buff. I've got a couple of 1/1s left. Well, X1s. That card's stupid. And how much damage are there? We've got 13, we can make it 15, but I don't really need to. Of course, Dobbs, get on board. I'll do it. Okay, and I do like this hand, but it's got slow to set up. We do technically have the double shadow for the Dreamsnatcher, but we won't be doing it. This hand would be actually pretty great if we were playing against any sort of beatdown deck, because we've got a little bit of interaction, and if we need it, we've got game 4, and we've got 2 lifesteal threats, which are pretty easy, and potentially a removal spell. Based on the strength of this hand in the dark against any sort of only deck, I'm going to keep it. So we'll end off with the shadow, because if we do draw the additional shadow, we get to get in there with the Dreamsnatcher. And this is a moment of truth. What's our opponent playing? Yep, so alright, so we kept this nonsense hand and were nothing but rewarded. Then now we get to set up with an ambush Ayan at some point. But next turn, Paul's going to play the Dreamsnatcher. Dreamsnatcher does a good job at blocking the 2-2, although any trick does kill us pretty easily here. Next turn could very well just be play the Sigil, play the Obelisk, and then just have a real race in our hands. Okay, so opponent's not afraid here. I'm going to block here. If my opponent does a rapid shot, I'd just allow it. Okay, so this is telling me that they've got Vara's. Yep. And that's sort of more than fine. This guy can't be saved in any particular way by the intervention, so we'll just allow that. So I want to have a full board. I really want my opponent not to have a full board. I'm just going to take the turn off just to slam him with the Obelisk. Opponent's got a lot less impressive haste targets, well, charge targets in their deck at 4 than perhaps the Urkano decks do. So we don't really need to use this Ayan as a removal spell right now. I think actually, given that we've got the Obelisk, perhaps we'll just play the Matron, just ignore this 4-3 for a little bit. Because we do get to start chucking out these 2-2 lifesteal bats. Yeah, you can use your Cinder Yeti there. Was not blocking anyway. Oh, now we've got this. So let's think it. So Vara's choice, as we've already got the silence sort of in play to deal with this, I might just ignore this and just sort of Vara's choice for the hand. Make sure there's no other copies of this or no Soulfire Drakes. So I've probably got a Torch or an Annihilate. I think if it was Annihilate, we've already used it. Okay, so Vara's found a way. We're just going to get rid of the Soulfire Drake because that's a beating. Just the text on that is pretty absurd. And we don't have to attack yet. Ideally don't want to be attacking until we're actually gaining life from it with these Vampire Bats. I feel like I'm really getting into my stride with this deck now. A couple of games into it. Just to trade a bat for... Yeah, I'll trade a bat for a card. I'm more than happy. Chuck the Ayan out. And with it being a 4-4, it is quite difficult for our opponent to deal at fast speed. There's a point where... I mean, there's no reason for us to play the Becky there. We should probably play it under 10. But our opponent's had enough anyway, because... Okay, snap redraw. And it's a lot of free, but it's a lot of interaction as well. We get to Vara's Choice and Banish. So we can turn to Vara's Choice if we want, but I think it's more likely. Oh, there we go. Dreamsnatcher. It's more likely we just want to try and set up for the Interrogator. Okay, well, now we've got 2 of them. Gonna see what our opponent's up to. Just start getting rid of these. So I'd rather not get charged out by a Whirling Duo. The Valkyrie Force is good, but they're probably going to save it. Okay, so they join up Whirling Joe, which is slight bump. Going to take 5 hit. We're going to get rid of the Valkyrie and hopefully we'll just be able to sort of take over the game. Or sort of like random 2-3s and banishes. But there's no reason to sort of keep the Vara's Charge because it's sort of an easy out for this sort of stuff. And I think actually I've always got 2 cards in hand. Just get greedy. Play the Becky, draw a card, but use it to block something like this and just get rid of it. Because 5-3 does trade quite aggressively. Now our opponent's got the Commando. We still got to trade here. And I also need to think about the next turn, because the next turn is basically, we're drawing undepleted power. It's going to be Dreamsnatcher plus Banish. Banishing this probably. But if it's not, it's going to be Devoted Theurge. And I think right now, I'd rather sort of kill the Warcry too. If we can gain life, that's fine. If we're able to come back from this, our opponent's life total is not going to be incredibly relevant. Because when we start to take control of the board, and in fact the game, it'll be by such an overwhelming amount that whatever life total we're up to just won't really matter. I think we're just in the market of just aggressively trading, get any tricks our opponent has out of the hand. For the most part. Okay, excellent, right. So now we get to banish this, so our opponent doesn't have a protect, and they don't. So we'll get to Dreamsnatcher, which is going to sit right in front of this Oni Ronin, and we're going to take 4, which is sad. Okay. We're taking 5, which is more of a problem. And so I need to think, do we block here? We're going to play the Theurge. If we drew up undepleted power being great shape, get to play the Interrogator and the Banish. I think right now, don't block here next turn. So Theurge takes us to 7. I think this turn will actually just be a chump block. Taking 5 in the air, which is sort of a troublesome amount. We want our opponent to tap out for some sort of nonsense. Okay. So blocking here. The Theurge is getting gobbled up. What's got an outlaw? Right, so what can we do here? So we can set up a next turn, but this also lets us sort of smell a rat as well. Yeah, so we'll just want our opponent. So I smell a rat, so I don't really want to play this Banish. So I'm going to play the Devoted Theurge. So I feel like that would have been definitely some sort of protect. If it was a finest down, I'm pretty sure we're dead. Just going to block. Now this is a protect, this is game, and it is. We smelled a rat and we were correct. Okay, so this hand is a bit tragic. We've got our off-colour scry and just time, and we really want to have some sort of shadow in here. So this is better. With this we've got double everything, we can pretty much play whatever we want. Play shadow first in case we draw the 2-3. But it's very likely that we just go 2, 3, 4 and draw cards off Becky. But this could very well be the sort of Stone Scar Gunslingers. This does look like quite a potent deck actually. Nope, the third colour tells me that this is perhaps the 3-colour Scream deck. Play the Interrogator just for the maximum amount of pressure on the board. Just can't just give this style of deck like infinite time. Actually, we've got a nice fast speed silence on this over here. Now I need to think, can we just pressure here? I think we can. Again, give our opponent the opportunity to trade here. I mean, the double shadow could sort of clue them off that we might want to be doing some sort of steward of the past business. But they're just going to trade with 3-2, which is more than fine. If this gets Haunting Screamed back in our opponent's turn, I'm just going to silence it. So I'm playing the Oasis Seeker for now. As next turn we'll be able to play the Lumen and draw a card off it. Yep, that's fine. Let our opponent attack and then we'll silence it. Which is a snazzy play, but perhaps not altogether a good one. This could be a negate here. That's just a Devour, just to keep it from being silenced. When there was a fast window then I was sort of expecting it to be something like Unseal, but perhaps not Backlash. Backlash is sort of fallen out of favour a little bit, because the decks that would want it, able to play Caleb's Choice, just sort of your Skycrag. Sort of more beat down, burn focused. Okay, so we're going to get chunked of some damage and perhaps a Combust or Power and Devour is on our future. And it's Combust. So killing the smaller of the two, which is sort of fine. I'm going to keep trying to apply pressure here, just play out everything that we can. Okay, our opponent's got the Gorgon Fanatic for next turn, which is trouble. We'll just tie up a little bit of that turn, which is fine by me. Looking for there. Playing the power up without the value just because we'll sort of get this 11 down. Opponent gets to gain 3 here, so they go to 12, which is just one short of what we can do. But if they trigger Nightfall and don't actually play any blockers, we'll be in good shape. Okay, so they get to sit there with blockers now. Getting there if I am. I've got a Brian here as a follow-up. Oh well, if this card was in Magic, it would be busted. Opponent's in real good shape here with the Gorgon Fanatics, and we've not really got any way to answer it currently. Perhaps we should have just been a little bit less greedy with the Teller's intervention and just silenced it straight away, because it seems like it's the only unit we've got so far to be messed about from the Void. I was completely surprised by the actual Devour there. Okay, and they've got it back again, so even bigger now. But let's draw 2 cards, so I'd rather just have all my power undepleted. That's going to banish this. I'm going to get it for 10, our opponent's going to go to 1. But they do have the Gorgon in place. We're able to gain 4 here, but attacking without able to answer our board is still a bit of a problem for them, as we are quite wide here and they've only got 4 power left. So could this be it? Gonna one-time them just to let them know what's business. Yep, thanks for the game. This time, though the power's quite good, got all the sort of enablers and no sort of payoffs, so I'd like to see a bit more of a healthy mix between the two. And this is just sort of like all the payoffs and none of the enablers. Okay, well, we do get to kill this on turn 2 and then able to lead up with an Ayan the ambusher. But I'm not sure whether we'll be doing that. Depends on what our opponent's got. But right, just gonna kill the Paranoid. Then I think maybe Ayan the Abductor comes down but doesn't block. It's like a end of turn thing. Just so our opponent has no opportunities to sort of deal with it before we're able to get in there with the Katra and just make them both 4/4s. So let's chuck it down. Like, if opponent's got a torch, they've got a torch. Rapid shot. Yep, so this is wasn't what I was thinking about because the Stone Scar decks had stopped playing rapid shot. But right, I'll play the Minotaur. I don't want to play anything that's just going to get sniped off by a torch. So that was a really punishing move, but I'm just going to take one hit. I'm a little bit concerned about any rapid shots. Now that I've seen one, I feel like they've got at least one more. No post-combat highwayman. Yeah, you got me. So let's play the Katra and the Amber Waystone. Gain a life, buffs both of our team up. So draw a card here. So, Oasis Seeker, not exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for the intervention perhaps, so we'll be able to silence this and remove this quick draw. But the Cinder Yeti's here. As our opponent just getting in here. Our opponent, we block here, they can use an Annihilate here to first strike and kill us. We're just going to have to sort of get through these cards anyway. And rapid shot's fine, that meant that wherever we blocked that was going to happen, but this way we took less damage. And so we are sort of based around being a life gain deck. It's not huge chunks, it's like little bits here and there. So right now we just play the Oasis Seeker and the Beckoning Lumen. There's a nice diverse range of threats. Then next turn we're able to attack, gain a life, and just pump our entire team. Got a Suffocate coming. Yep, so let's get rid of that. Well, fine. So this guy's got a first strike and it's a bit of a problem. And this is quite the board. So I think next turn we might just be stuck with. So taking 7, 8, 9, 10, go to 5, but to keep a reasonable team, next time we're going to play the Theurge. Because we desperately need to gain the additional life here. Play the banner. And number 2. Okay, this is nice. So, draw a card here. Run both of these. This is going to easily trigger our Katra next turn. Get to play Katra. And if we're still alive, we've got to play the Waystone. So, what's happening here? This is. Let's attack, so. Block here. 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 We'll take 1, 2, 6. Maybe that's like a torch or anything like that, but I don't think we can be super concerned at this point. So this is excellent. We have an actual interactive spell now. I think right now we could actually start to chunk in for 6 because we do have a removal spell for this. And this way we take 1. We are also spend because we do actually pay life here to draw cards. We kind of sort of do it forever for free. There's a Shadow Sigil sadly, so still that's a torch. But block here. Oh, nope, not block there. Oh well. So our opponent's got a fast effect and we don't. So we trade off the Katra and meant to block a 1/1 and banish that. Yeah, and they will do it anyway, just to banish our guy. Yeah, you got me. Back to the deck. Overall, I really enjoy playing with the LifeForce decks, and I think there are definitely times in the ladder where you won't be playing it. Specifically, that's going to be when relic weapons and harsh rules are on the downswing, And you played against decks that just allow you that time to set up, and you're just able to catch them off guard with your Ayans and your like go big snowball strategy with the Katras. So the mana base ended up fine. So the power base ended up fine, though I'm a little bit suspicious of the Crest of Wisdom. But sadly, I only saw it during opening hands and wasn't able to fully utilise it. Another upside of the deck too is that it's relatively cheap and can be a nice thing to work towards if you're a new player who isn't really interested in building Aginport Tavrod. Ayan is of course a mythic, but you could play a lower number and perhaps play some of the other life game Mats cards in that slot, like the Premonition Wisp or the Sadistic Valkyrie, which comes in the same expansion as the Devoted Theurge. So, thanks for watching. I've been That Resolves, and this was Xenan LifeForce.